Hello, welcome to another pen talk. We're going to be looking at two pens from a German manufacturer that most of us are very familiar with, Pelikano. These are their junior pens or their pens that are made for children, the Pelikano. I thought it would be interesting to look at these because a lot of us have children, grandchildren, and also some of these inexpensive pens are very good writers. So they can be used for, carry-ons. You may be in a place where you're not comfortable carrying your valuable pens, so a lot of times it's good to have a pen just to throw into a bag or throw into your pocket and take with you. So I thought we'd take a look at these two. One of which is an older version of the Pelikano, and the other one is a newer version. The Pelikanos have been around since the 60s. Pelikan made them as school pens. When I grew up in the 60s, fountain pens were not part of my public education, but I started writing with them and enjoyed it, and have been writing with them ever since. We'll look at first is this Pelikano, which is the older one. This is a brand that they started in 2003. I bought this in 2008 from an interesting stationery art supply place called Pearl Paint in New York City. It came with a cartridge, and here's the pen. Just a very classic design, transparent barrel here, plastic clip that's pretty, not too stiff, easy to put in and out, and it opens up wide so you can put it into your pants. Nice Pelikan imprint on the top of the cap. Just a push-off cap, posts very nicely. And this is a nib that I find on almost all of the less expensive Pelikan pens. It looks very similar to points that are on Lami's, some of the less expensive Japanese pens. So I'm certain that in the design of pens, this type of nib is one that is easy to manufacture but still delivers a very good writing experience. With a transparent barrel, you can easily see what level of ink you might have in the pen. So that was a series of Pelikanos from the 2000s. And then in 2010, they changed the design. They seem to change the design every 10 or so years. So this is the Pelikano Junior. Which I would say is primarily different because it does not have a clip on the cap. Very good design, good size. The logo is in relief on the top of the cap, not printed. We have the Pelikano in very big letters here on the cap. Junior is printed on. It's nice with these little observation magnifying windows in the barrel. And the frosting is nice. These were all designed to take a large a large cartridge, the standard international cartridges. This one is quite an interesting design on it, again appealing to the younger writer. Again, another pull-off cap, posts very, very nicely. This now has an ergonomic grip on it, and from the different designs on it, it's kind of easy to place your thumb and forefinger on it, and it also has a little bit of an indent in the bottom to rest on the other finger. And as we can see, it's the same type of nib that was in the previous Pelikano. Like I said, this is probably something that is going to be standard on all types of pens in this price point, which is between $10 and $20. These pens do take a converter, and when I bought the Pelikano in 2008, I bought a converter with it. Standard International converter. Works nicely. Since I like to use bottled ink, I would probably use that for the pen. I had reviewed the Pelican Twist as another youth-oriented pen. I've written with this quite a bit, and the challenge, it writes well, but the challenge I have is with cartridges, and I've tried different converters in it. They don't quite work or fit very well. They get a little bit loose. So the pen I've yet to work out as a daily type of writer. And just in going, when I talked about the Twist, I talked about the Pelican Go. I actually found two of these in mint, as well as the one that I've used quite a bit. And this is an actual piston fill. Be nice if Pelican would actually bring back a pen similar to this. I'll post a recent eBay auction, which is an outrageous price for this type of pen, so I guess they are becoming collectible, or at least someone's trying to make them collectible. So I would strongly recommend this new Pelikano. I think it's a great design. I think they've really modernized it. Hopefully it will appeal. We'll find out if my young granddaughter is interested in it. So go out there, find yourself some inexpensive pens, and write on. I had considered not doing a writing sample, but then I realized that if I was watching this video, I'd want a writing sample. Even though this is not a pen necessarily that one would acquire based on its writing, but its writing is certainly not to detract from its usefulness. We're going to be using the International converter, which, as I mentioned before, they don't seem to fit as snugly as I would like them to fit. Maybe part of the fact that it's an expensive pen. We're going to be doing an ink I just recently got. This is Monica Red, an interesting small bottle. Brian Goulet talked about the fact that these are great travel bottles, and they are nice. They're plastic. Small amount of ink. When I purchased it, I wasn't quite aware. I didn't pay enough attention to realize how small amount of ink it was. I figured that'd be a good red to use with this one. And we see one of the first problems is it doesn't fit into the opening of the bottle. Let's see if we can draw up any ink. And the answer is no. As you probably understand, this wasn't well planned on my part. Now, I think we hopefully have enough ink to give ourselves a writing sample. We will cap the ink. I've only played with this ink a little bit, so I'm not going to be able to judge too much on its characteristics, but I've been getting into diamine inks, and I have Ancient Copper, which I love. It's a great shading ink. So this is the Pelikano Junior. It's pretty broad for a medium. I think that's what this was rated as. Apologize about the shading. I normally do these in sunlight, but I decided to do this after the sun has gone down. I mean, as I mentioned, these writing experiences are all very similar to these manufactured pens. It's just extremely smooth. It glides across the paper, lays down a nice patch of ink, nice red. It's medium wet. You can add a little bit of, as you can see, it does have actually a decent amount of flex to it, which is nice. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little look at an inexpensive pen from a company known for making some very nice expensive pens. So enjoy all your writing experiences. May they be many, and may they be pleasurable. Until later, have a good writing experience.